everyone, Kat Ogar here of Infinite Health and Wellness. I just wanted to check in with you. I know it's been a while, and summer can sometimes do that, right? We can slow down a little bit, hopefully. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, slowing down, because we're moving really quickly all the time. And no one knows that better than me, because I recently was struggling with my own health, and it's sometimes something hard for me to admit because of the nature of the business that I'm in and what I feel passionate about. And I always want to be an inspiration to all of the people who follow me and who know me. And the only way to really do that is to be real, honestly. And so this is me getting real and letting everyone know that follows me that this spring I had a really difficult time with my health. I had taken on way more than I could do. I had been saying yes to things that it never even occurred to me to say no to. And these are things that I actually like to do, things I love doing. And too much of a good thing, like they say, is not a good thing. It's too much. So what ended up happening was I got, my adrenals were really drained. And if you're not familiar with that, what that means is essentially we've got these two very small organs on top of our kidneys called the adrenal glands, and they secrete hormones, and one of them is adrenaline, which most people are familiar with. It's the fight or flight, and the other is cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone that we use to get things going, get things doing things. And if you use too much of it, it's like taking money out of the bank and not putting any back in. Essentially, they get tired and they say forget about it. And what ended up happening with me, because I was engaged in a lot of different activities, work-wise and otherwise, that it was too much. I ended up getting insomnia. The list of symptoms that I had is so long. I'm probably going to have to write them down and read them off at some point and talk a little bit more about this again in detail. But essentially what happened was my system got stuck in the fight or flight mode. So essentially everything was an emergency for me from every waking moment. And that's really anxiety provoking, which can lead to total exhaustion, and then you're not sleeping. So I had insomnia that was going on, which I had never had it to that. I mean, everybody has a couple nights here or there where they don't sleep, but this was literally wide awake when everyone else is asleep. And you try hard not to worry about it and settle yourself down, but the long and the short of it is your mind can kind of take over, and it starts to worry you. And then I ended up going into panic attacks, which I've talked about those before, and they would just come up unbidden over and over and over again. It was like really being stuck in this wheel, and that led to depression, which I think everybody has sad days, and we all deal with things that don't always go our way. We're not going to be happy all the time, but this was one day after another after another. And so I had to take a step back. It's why I haven't really been on social media a lot. It's why I've just been kind of regrouping and taking better care of myself. And I've decided to get some help for me. And I think that's something that we do too, is that we don't always ask for help when we need it. We will just, forge on. We can be very stoic, especially all you women out there. We're used to just charging through, just keep on moving, like there is no other alternative. But unfortunately, what happens is that sometimes your health can erode and it can take you down. And so the things that I loved most, which was being an inspiration to other people, which is living the way that I'm asking all of you to live, I wasn't doing it. And that was really difficult for me. It was quite an eye-opener, I guess, to, as much as I didn't really like or enjoy one moment of what I went through, probably from April to June, July, before the folks that were helping me, who I want to give a shout out to, Megan Stewart of Acupuncture of Hingham. She has been amazing in helping me heal. And Dr. Donna Jones, who is a holistic functional medicine OBGYN. She's amazing too, and she's kind of branched out in a few different areas. These two women, without them, and their kindness and their compassion and their ability to take care of me. See, that's what happens too when we're women, and as we're so used to being the caregivers and the caretakers that we don't realize that sometimes we have to hand that control over to somebody else and let them take care of us. So I did do that, and I was really blessed and grateful for them standing by me and helping me out and being really patient with the process and kind of talking me off the cliff regularly, because I'm impatient. I wanted to get back into it. I wanted to, get back out in front of people and start talking about health and wellness. And it's taken me this long. Here it is August, and like I said, everything kind of fell apart between the April-May time frame. And what made it really difficult was I was in the middle of a consulting agreement that was 6-7 weeks, and I was committed to that, and I couldn't walk away from it. I probably could have, but I elected not to. So in order to get through that, I had to drop a lot of other things. And so I guess what I'm saying is that please don't try and do everything on your own all the time. Recognize when your body is asking for rest. I was ignoring that. I would literally be sitting on the couch behind me, and I'd be so exhausted to the point where my body was shaking, and I would ignore it and still watch TV thinking like, I'm not going to go to bed. It's 7 p.m. And that's hard, when you've got a lot to do and you have a lot that you want to be doing. And there's people that you're responsible for, spouses and pets and children and parents, all of those things that are important to us. But what happens if you ignore that, and what happened to me, is that all of a sudden you've got plenty of time because you can't do any of it. You can't do any of it. My husband had to wait on me practically like hand and foot, and I could see the worry in his face and in his eyes, and he was really strong, trying to just keep everything up and running. And this is a person that's had his own health challenges, and he just stepped right up and gave me the space that I needed to heal, and was there for me whatever I needed, with either a hug or a comforting word, or maybe vacuuming or doing something around the house that I would typically do to help me get back on track. And we talked about it, but for me, I tend to go inward when things are going wrong. And I don't talk about it a lot. So for me to ask for help is difficult. But I did do that because I recognized that I couldn't climb out of the hole that I had dug myself into. I'm guessing that space that I was in was my rock bottom, and I'm really hoping that it was, because I never want to go back there again. But the good news is, and you know me, I always say that there's always good news, is that now I know what it's like when somebody gets to that point. Now I know what it's like when somebody walks through my office and they're dealing with depression, like this long-standing depression. And I can empathize with that, and I know what needs to be done in order to get back on track. I can either direct them to people like I used for things that are outside of my scope of practice, or I can help them. So I did want to check in and let you know that that's where I've been, and I wish that it wasn't true, but it was, and it's real. We're all struggling, and the world can be a lonely place if we don't reach out to others and ask for help. So that's my message to you today. If there's something that I can do to help, I'm always available for you. Please pick up the phone, call me, email me. I don't know if you know this or not, but I offer free consultations, and it's not to get you to buy anything from me or get you to use my services. If something I have works for you, that's great. If I think you need something else or someone else, I'm going to tell you. I don't build my practice around trying to make money off of other people's misery. I build it around trying to inspire hope and health and happiness. So again, if there's anything that I can do for you, just find me on my website, yourinfinitewellness.com. Down the bottom, there's a place where you can sign up and you can chat with me for 30 minutes at no cost. And believe me, we can get a lot done in that time. Don't try and do things on your own if you've gotten to that point where you need the help. I'm speaking from experience here. If you want my help or someone else's help that you know that's in your sphere of folks that you interact with, or someone that you heard that's really great, please reach out to them. Because honestly, I would have thrown any amount of money at whatever, at whomever, to get my health back on track. It didn't matter to me, and I hope that you don't let it get to that point. Maybe there's things that you can do now, small little incremental steps. These small things will add up and make your life healthier and get you where you want to go. And so I did want to just share that with you. It's been something I've been wrestling with. It's been something that I've wanted to reach out and share with folks. Most people who are close to me know that I've been dealing with this, but as a person who's in the public eye, and I consider myself to be a public figure, so to speak, as someone who's influencing others, I thought it was really important to share that message and let you know that if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anyone you know and love. So take care of yourself, live the life that you want, live the life that you're dreaming of, because you deserve it. Have a great day, everybody.